afternoon. It's a great day. This is the 28th of June in the year 2022, and we are here. This is Point of
Hi.
View
Hi.
with there's Cleester next to me, there's Eula above me, and
Hello.
there's Merethah next to Eula. And our topics today are I'm going to finish. And like I've said before, this is exactly how I want to say it. Half colon AS, that means as apologies. And that's my topic today, okay? And I'm going to finish it today by the grace of God. Next, who's topic? Who's next? Clee?
My topic is uh, dependent personality disorder.
All right, wonderful. Eula?
My topic today is how to make a relationship actually work.
All
Whoa.
right. How to make a relationship. All right, everybody needs to hear that.
Actually work.
Sure do.
Actually, because some of them people
Actually
been
work.
together for years and evidently they're working, but they might not be working the right way, but they're working. So whatever it
There
takes
you
to keep
go.
them going, they're doing. So
They got to
whatever
do
is
it.
right for them is right, huh?
That's right. I got
Okay.
9 rules to tell you how.
All right, dear God, as we sit before you to speak, we pray to you that our souls you will keep. And if we should die before we finish, we pray to you, dear God, in the name of Jesus, that any outstanding sins will be forgiven. Amen. And so we
Amen.
are here by the grace of God. And at this time, I'm going to present to you our first speaker, and she knows who she is.
All right. Mine is the difference between love and like. And you
All
can
right.
get this from askanydifference.com. And it was presented January 23rd, 2022. Um, love and like are two different emotions that humans have.
Mhm.
Even though it's a neurological activity, but these emotions increase compassion, kindness, desire in the heart.
Mhm.
Activities of these two emotions motivate a person to care about his lovable things, encourage him to get things that he desires.
Okay.
All right. Both of these emotions are very strong, and many people often believe that he falls in love with the things that he likes.
Mhm.
Mm.
However, the reality is not that simple. Love and likes are completely two different types of emotions, and they drive people in two different ways.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
The main difference between love and likes is that love is a personal affection that derives from positive, sublime virtue and a type
Mhm.
of unconditional form of emotion which grows stronger with time. While
Mm-hmm.
like is an emotional attraction that anyone feels for another person, object, or ideology, or a type of conditional form of emotion which erodes with time.
Mhm.
Mm, mm, mm. All right, here's a comparison table. What is it? What is love? Love is a personal affection which derives from positive, sublime virtue, and like is an emotional attraction that anyone feels for another person, object of ideology. And the type: compassionate love, infatuated love, commiserate love, unrequited love, courtly love, empty love, and self love.
Mm.
Visual likes, logical likes, and emotional likes. And with time, love grows stronger and like erodes away.
Mhm.
Value, unconditional form of emotion, and like is a conditional form of emotion.
Okay.
Separation. Love causes deep trauma and depression. Like
Mm-hmm.
just causes sadness.
Mhm.
All right. What is love? Love is a personal affection that derives from positive, sublime virtue. According to various, psychologists, a human must have a kindness, compassion, and affection to feel emotion of love. Love is an emotion that affects anyone at any time. There is no specific time when anyone falls in love with something. Even with modern technology advancements, the scientists haven't found any specific reason behind love. However, Modern philosophers have segmented different types of love. There's a compassionate love, infatuated love, commiserate love, unrequited love, courtly love, empty love, and self love. Love parents feel love for their children and love for a spouse are one of the strongest forms of love. This type of love remains with a person for a long time and grows stronger over time. Love is one type of emotion that does not depend on perfection. We all know that. People love us no matter what we do. It's unconditional. Love is unconditional. When anyone loves anything, they look beyond what their material value. Any perfection or imperfection doesn't change. Excuse me. I opened something up and I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. Okay, there we go. Oh, Lord, where did my thing go? I just did something I wasn't supposed to do. I apologize.
Okay, well, just go ahead and get it. You don't have to apologize.
I'm going to get it. All right. Modern philosophy, love, love, love. Okay. Love is a type of emotion that does not depend on perfection. Anyone who loves something, they look beyond a material value. Any perfection or imperfection doesn't change its value, excuse me, for the lover. In many examples, it has been found that a person might love an imperfect thing more than anything else. Love is truly an unconditional form of emotion. Separation or departure from a lovable person or an object may cause deep trauma and depression. It may take a person a long time to recover from depression. This behavior is commonly seen when anyone loses their spouse or mother loses their children. What is like? Like is an emotional attraction that anyone feels for another person, object, or ideology. It is a deep form of desire, even though like is a personal inclination, but various social influences may affect their preference, For this reason, various companies choose attractive marketing and advertising tactics to influence public liking. According to various philosophers, likes can be divided into three types. These are visual likes, logical likes, and emotional likes. Visual likes come from attractiveness of an object or a person. Most commodities are available in market fall in these categories. They show you a pretty picture. They show you a juicy picture of a food. They put all that grease on it to make a burger look good or a steak. Logical liking derives from acceptable reasoning. Most ideology anyone prefers falls in this category. However, emotional like depends on passionate attachments. A romantic relationship falls in that category. You got to like somebody first before you love them.
There you go.
Time plays a crucial role in this emotional attraction. Linking for an object or a person may erode with time. It says linking, not liking. Someone like anything may not like it in the future. You can like something now, you might not like it later on. For this reason, with time, people quickly change their affection for movie stars and sports stars. Yeah, we do. Like, compare one object with another and constantly look for perfection. Most people do not like any object or person with imperfection. Like is a type of conditional form of emotion. Most people feel sadness when departure from a likable object or person. However, they recover quickly. As many people recover from their breakups and move on with their life. Only if you like him. Oh, I liked him. He was cute. He was sweet, but hey, I'm over that now. We've all done it. I liked him, but it's done.
It's done. That's all you want.
Between love and likes. Number one, on one hand, Love is a personal affection which derives from positive, sublime virtue. On the other hand, like is an emotional attraction that anyone feels for one person, object, or ideology. Number two, there are multiple types of love, such as compassionate love, infatuated love, commiserate love, unrequited love, courtly love, empty love, and self love. While these are three types of like, these are visual likes, logical likes, and emotional likes. Number three, with the passage of time, love grows stronger. However, with the passage of time, like erodes away. Number four, love is an unconditional form of emotion which looks beyond the level of perfection and imperfection. But like is a conditional form of emotion that always
Mhm.
looks for perfection. Number five, any separation from a lovable object or person causes deep trauma and depression. It may take a long time to recover from this separation. However, any separation from a likable object or a person only causes sadness and the person recovers quickly. And in
Mm.
conclusion, love and like are both critical emotional states of a human being. The emotion of love gives human compassion and kindness. It drives them to care for of lovable things. A love between a mother and her child is a perfect example of love, where she takes all possible care of better developing her children. On the other hand, like gives the motivation to get any specific thing. Like demands on personal preferences and it
Mm.
changes with time. A certain brand of clothing that anyone likes today may not remain the same in the future.
That's right.
Along with updated fashion trends and the liking of new brands of clothing, it may change in the future. Just because I like it today, don't mean I like it tomorrow. I like this movie. I done watched it 5 times. Well, I'm tired of it now. I'm gonna watch it. I like it tomorrow, and I might watch it 3 times. Okay, I'm tired of that one. I'm gonna move on to something else. And that's how we are with people. You know,
Mhm.
people come into your life for a season and for a reason. And when that's done, it's done.
Done.
Sometimes, we have to train ourselves not to get attached sometimes, because you have to be careful what you like and what you love. You know, be careful with your emotions. Don't give them too freely because people are not going to give them to you. Be careful with your heart. Be
Yes.
careful what you like. Oh, I love that car. Oh, you can't love that car. That car ain't gonna be here always. It could be taken tomorrow.
That's
You
right.
like it, and then it's gonna be gone. You could go out there tomorrow and have a wreck, and then
Mm.
that
There you
car's
go.
gone.
It's
You know,
gone.
that person that, like, I love y'all. I love all of y'all, but you're gonna always be in my heart. We're gonna always have that connection. We're gonna
That's
always,
right.
you know,
Always.
whether we're
Mhm.
here or not,
That's right. It's still gonna
that
be there.
love is gonna be here. That love is gonna be here. But you have to understand the difference between like and
And
love.
love. All right.
Be careful what you like. Be careful what you love. Be careful who you like. Be careful who you love. Guard yourself and take care of yourself. And I'm done.
All
Beautiful.
right.
That
Very
was
good.
wonderful.
Thank
Really
you.
good.
Thank
Like
you.
this,
Thank
we
you.
got to like the
Love.
difference between love
Yeah.
and like. Woo!
Al Green said, love will let you walk down Main Street. Love.
Love.
Go ahead now. All
That
right.
was
Very
all.
good.
That
Wonderful.
was
Enjoyed
wonderful.
it so much.
Yeah.
Next.
Love is a walk down
Is,
Main.
is Cleet say you gonna be? Are you next, Cleet? Can you hear her?
I
I
can't
think.
hear.
I hear a ding here. Hold on.
That was
Yeah, I do too.
me. I'm
She
sorry.
hasn't said anything yet.
Well, if she don't want to go, I'll go. I don't know. Can you? Can she hear you?
I can't hear her.
I don't know.
Me?
Go
She
ahead.
moving slow.
Yeah, go ahead, Eula.
Okay. Mine again is oh, I enjoyed that, the difference between can you hear me?
Yes.
We can
Oh,
hear you.
okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I still can't hear her though. Poor thing. Amen. How to make a relationship actually work. 9 rules to follow. And this is contributed by Monica Pariska. And it was reviewed by the PhD Christina Howlett. So it says relationships aren't easy, but far too many couples throw in the towel on their relationship prematurely, only to repeat the same dysfunctional patterns in their next relationship. The truth is, most couples are capable of thriving and lasting long term if they're both committed to working on it. Regardless of whether you're in a 50-day or a 50-year relationship, here's how to make a relationship actually work. The first one is accept conflict as normal. And I'm going to explain what they say. Perfection exists only in Hollywood. Disagreements happen. Unless you embroiled in severe problems like unfaithfulness, abuse, addictions, legal problems, or violence, don't throw away a relationship because you've hit the rough patch. Trust and commit deepen as you travel through a storm together. So a lot of times people throw away relationships because the first or second time something happened, I'm done.
Yeah.
It's like I'm done. I'm not going through this. But you don't know what the other person is going. So we have to accept conflict sometimes as it's a normal thing because we gonna do it and they gonna do it too.
Yep.
So we're gonna have problems, each one of us. But if it's an unfaithful, abuse, or addiction, legal problems, I don't know. I don't think I'd be bothered with you unless you got to be or violent. If you're violent, I kind of am done because I've already went through relationships of all 3 of these, all 4, 5 of these. So I got done with that. So I tried to get something different. So the second one is grow yourself up emotionally. Most people, even very good people, have some dysfunctional. I don't know. I'm sorry, y'all. I hope y'all can hear this thing ringing. Trying to decline it. Most people, even very good people, have some dysfunctional behaviors that are destructive to themselves and others. Some of the most common ones are defensiveness, poor communication skills, and lacking emotional intelligence. You probably intuitively have somewhat of a sense of where your area or improvement are. And if you don't, try asking for some feedback from your partner, close friends, or even from them exes. You got some exes that you can talk to, or the ex-husband or the ex-boyfriend, and say yes. The part depending on where you're at emotionally with them, reconnecting with an ex to talk about your strengths and weaknesses can actually be very helpful. Whew, hold on just a minute, y'all. Mm. Whew, had a wave of dizziness just for
So
can actually be very helpful practice. Don't be afraid to acknowledge that you've got room to grow. Everyone does. So that's a lot of times you have to kind of examine yourself, and the other person has to too. And like it was saying, if you got to go back to your old friends and talk to them, and then it helps you to recognize, are they feel, did they all feel the same thing about me, or did I feel the same thing about them? So we have to go back and grow up ourselves emotionally. Give each
Okay.
other space. Even people in happy, loving relationships need some alone time. We need some alone time. I do. I do so all the time. Healthy couples are able to spend time away from each other, working on their own goals, spending time with their friends and hobbies, and just doing their own thing. Don't be worried if your partner asks for space or wants some nights to themselves every now and then. And make sure you're also regularly taking time to focus on yourself. You should each be whole people with your own exciting lives, and you're choosing to share those lives with each other.
Mhm.
Number 4 says develop an I'm awesome attitude. We got to develop our own. I'm an awesome person. I'm awesome.
I love
So
me
we can
some
say
you.
that I'm awesome. I'm awesome. Amen. You and only you determine your self-worth. Far too many people base their self-worth first on whether they have a partner and later on the success of the relationship they're in. But how you feel about yourself should have nothing to do with your relationship status, nor the whims and the moods of your partner. It doesn't matter whether they stay or go, or compliment or criticize you. No, I'm sorry, compliment or criticize you. Your self-esteem needs to be like non-stick cookware. A third-party opinion slides right off, whether you good or bad. So if a third party jump in there, let it slide off like that Pam do when you can cook an egg and it slide right on out the skillet. Number 5, take care of your own needs. You're an adult, not a child. As a result, you call the shots. Need a nap? Take it. Want ice cream? Have some. Want to go to the movies? Enjoy it. In partnership, you can ask the other person to help you meet your needs, but like you, they have their own needs and problems. They may say no. This is not a rejection. Instead, it's an invitation to be self reliant or reach out to your community, friends, or family for help. If you make one person your be all and in all, they will resent it, and so will you. So, communicate boundaries. More relationships die from the silence than violence. Do you bite your tongue when you're upset? Do you turn away from the bad behavior? Do you nag instead of enforcing consequences? If you act compliant to keep the peace, you contribute to the inauthenticity. How you say it? Inauthentic. I can't get my tongue to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Inauthentic.
Yeah, yeah, that. I can't get my
Okay.
tongue right. Of the relationship,
You
decide
sound
to
like
forge
me.
a different path. Speak up, say no, express your needs, create a truly channel of communication with your partner. If you can't be honest without feeling guilty or feeling like it's going to start a big fight, it might not be the right relationship for you. So I say it might not be.
Amen.
Never
What's
reward never reward bad behavior. For psychology may explain bad behavior, but it doesn't excuse it. Even if you understand why your partner sometimes does hurtful things to you, if they're not trying to change for the better, you need to draw a line. When you continue to
Yeah.
spend time with them, laugh, have sex, and otherwise pretend that everything's okay, you're offering positive reinforcement that they don't actually need to change. Set some ground rules. Don't wait around for somebody to change. If they're not actively working on themselves now, you can't have a relationship with someone's potential. So if they're potentially
Amen.
trying, you can't have no relationship with that.
Right.
Amen.
Right.
Relationships,
Can you hear me?
and you can't. And I found that out. We all have found
I've
that
been
out. We've
talking to
all been
Shirley.
through something, and we found that out.
I guess
You,
you
you,
can't.
yeah, you try to be good, be quiet, and don't say nothing when they acting a fool. I'm not. So you got to speak up. We gonna speak up. I speak up all the time.
Can you?
I don't hide nothing, and I
Shirley,
say he speak up too. So that's how you got to do it. It's a relationships can be like old shoes.
I
We
understand.
stay in them even when they're no longer functional because they are comfortable. But comfort is rarely an indication of a life well lived. Heed the wisdom of your internal voice. When you're I think Clee said something like that last week. Say heed the wisdom of your internal voice. When your relationship is in crisis, it's naturally it's natural to go to your friends for advice. But the sympathy of opinions can sometimes drown out the only voice that matters, your own. Get
Yep.
quiet, meditate, pray, clear mental space so you can hear your intuition. Can this relationship be saved? Is it in your best interest? Are you being pushed to grow? Are you truly giving each other what you each need? Your heart will never fail you, so learn to listen.
Yeah.
Flood it with affection. Relationships are supposed to be fun. The joyous and warm and filled with laughter and affection. People in long term relationships tend to forget this over time. And that's why so many couples eventually break up because they believe the spark is gone.
Mhm.
Make time to play together, create an atmosphere of levity, positivity when you're together. Speak lovingly to each other. Always hug each other, cuddle, hold hands. These small things are what makes relationships so wonderful in the first place. And
Mm.
keeping those loving practices alive is the key to making a relationship work in the long run. So they
Mhm.
say, they used to tell us, whatever you did to get her, that's what you got to do to keep her. You
That's
can't
what
get
you
them and
gotta
then
do. That's
change.
right.
All right, I'm
Yep.
done.
All
Oh,
right. Wonderful.
Yeah, I might read over this again myself.
yeah.
Again,
Same thing it took. It's same thing it took to get her. You got to do the
got to
same
do
thing to
same.
Trying
keep
to
her,
keep.
or
That's it.
him,
The same.
vice
Or
versa.
him,
Yeah.
vice
Uh-huh.
versa. That's it.
Hmm.
Yes,
All
Don't
right.
Lord.
take no
Wonderful.
shortcuts. That's why I'm by myself.
Huh?
Well,
That's why I'm by myself. Ain't doing what it take to
Same
get me.
thing to
well. Okay.
your baby hook is gonna same thing.
Thank.
Keep her.
Sing it, Reedy. Sing
You
it,
can hear
Reedy.
me?
Yeah.
Yes, I hear
I
you.
thought y'all couldn't hear me.
We hear you
We
now.
I
couldn't
thought y'all couldn't
earlier.
hear me.
We hear you
We
now.
couldn't.
You
We
took
hear you
care of
now.
it, whatever.
Shirley, can you hear me? Thada, can you hear me?
We
Eula,
couldn't
can you
hear
hear me?
We
you,
couldn't
Step
hear
right
you
on road.
before. Then you blacked out and you came back.
but now you're
I didn't
here.
black out. Maybe I wanted to black out. I'll tell you the truth. I wanted to black out because I didn't understand why. And then I started reading. And everybody, she said, "Well, I'll go." I was like, "Okay, well,
So
I
we
guess
couldn't
I
hear
shut
you.
up."
We couldn't
I
hear you.
understand that. I understand it because I saw the red light down here. I had to watch. Yeah,
I'm sorry,
mine
Cleve.
is on the. No, y'all couldn't hear me. And I did see
We,
the red where my mic was up. Is my mic off now?
it's
Y'all
No.
can't
on.
hear me.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
can
Yes,
hear
we
you.
can hear you.
she's shaking your head for when I said it out.
Huh?
She's shaking her
Huh?
head, grinning like, "Is my mic off?" You shaking your head, grinning. Okay, I'm going on. If y'all fail to hear me, just keep right on. Somebody else go.
Eula
Okay,
was
mine is.
talking. Okay, go ahead,
Go
Reedy.
ahead.
Oh.
Did she sleep? And now she, oh, she, I say, did she
Mine, mine
sleep? Cleve,
dependent
stop. She is messing with us.
personality disorder. But did y'all not hear me? Can you hear
I
me?
heard you say personality disorder.
Okay,
That's all I heard.
dependent personality disorder
Okay, gotcha.
by myclevelandclinic.org.
Okay.
Dependent personality disorder is a
Hmm.
type of anxious personality disorder. People with DPD often feel helpless, submissive, or incapable of taking care of themselves. I didn't know there were people out there with this kind of disorder that they can't do
Mm.
anything for themselves. They have to depend on somebody else to
Hmm.
do for them or to make sure done. Okay, they may have trouble making simple decisions, but with
Mm.
help, someone with a dependent personality can learn self-confidence and self-reliance.
Mm.
Here's
Mm.
dependent personality disorder. Mental health experts describe personality as a person's way of thinking, feeling, and behaving. A personality disorder affects the way people think or act, make differently over time. Different personality disorder, dependent personality disorder, DPD, is one of 10 types of personality disorders. The other types include antisocial personality disorder, narcissistic personality disorder. I think
Mm.
Shirley talked on that one.
Mm-hmm.
And paranoid personality
I'll be
disorder.
back.
Mm.
Dependent personality disorder usually starts during childhood
Mm.
or by the age of 29. From the time you are born to you 29 years old to know if you're going to have DPD.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
People with DPD have an overwhelming need to others to take care of them. Often a
Mm.
Wow.
person with DPD relies on people close to them for their emotional or physical needs. Others may describe them as needy or clingy. You know, we've already said, oh, we say people, oh, they too needy. They just clingy. Maybe they're sick.
saying
You
that
know, I've
before.
said that about people. They too needy. They too needy. Every time you turn around, they want you to do something. Well, maybe they're sick. I'm just finding this out. That's maybe why people are needy and clingy. People with DPD may believe they can't take care of themselves. They might have trouble making everyday decisions such as what to wear without others' reassurance. Statistics show that roughly 10% of adults have personality disorders. Less than 1% of adults meet the criteria of DPD. More women than men tend to have DPD. What causes dependent personality disorder, DPD? Mental health experts haven't figured out what causes DPD. Who popped firecrackers?
Shirley.
That's Shirley.
Popping firecrackers. Lord Jesus. They believe the mental health experts haven't figured out.
You didn't mute a mic when she got up.
Yeah, she said, I'll be back. That was it.
You didn't mute a mic when she got up.
No, she didn't, because it sounded like she popping firecrackers.
Oh, bitch. I dropped my plug. I dropped my charger plug thing.
Fireworks are going off too.
Now I'm apologizing. I had to put the charger in.
Well, your fireworks was taken off.
And I still can't find the bottom so I can plug it into the electricity, so I haven't plugged into my computer. Okay, I apologize.
Yeah, she got this.
She was there.
The thing fell on the floor and I still don't see it
I
yet.
said, who was popping firecrackers? I said, Shirley.
Well, you know they've been popping them around here already.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
look.
Okay, mental health experts haven't figured out what causes DPD. They believe results from mix of the genetics, environments, and development. Experts have found DPD is more likely in people with particular life experiences, include abusive relationships. People who have a history of abusive relationships have a higher risk of DPD diagnosis. Childhood trauma. Children who have experienced child abuse, including verbal abuse or neglect, may develop DPD. It may also affect people who experience life-threatening illnesses during childhood. Family history. Someone with a family who has DPD, a family member who has DPD, or any other anxiety disorder may be more likely to have DPD diagnosis. Certain cultural and religious or family disorders, behaviors. Some people may develop DPD due to cultural, religious practices or emphasize reliance on authority. But passivity, yeah, I said it right, and politeness alone is not a sign of DPD. What is this dependent personality disorder? Someone with this dependent personality disorder may have several symptoms, including avoidance of personal responsibility, difficulty in being alone, fear of abandonment, and a sense of helplessness when relationships end, oversensitivity to criticism, pessimism, and lack of self-confidence, trouble making everyday decisions. They have a hard life. Dependent personality disorder diagnosed. How's it diagnosed? Your health order provider does a physical exam to understand if another disorder could be causing symptoms. A mental health provider makes the DPD diagnosis. A mental health provider will talk with you about your past mental health. Questions may include how you feel, any other mental health concerns, and any substance abuse or use of problems. The provider compares your answers to factors listed in the diagnostic and statistical manual of mental
Don't feel
disorders.
bad.
I know, right? DSM-5
Sorry.
for diagnosis of DPD. A provider will look for 5 of the DSM-5 diagnostic criteria. These factors include all-consuming unrealistic fears of being abandoned, helpless feeling when alone, inability to manage life responsibilities without help from others, problems stating an opinion out of fear or loss of support or approval, strong drive to help support from others, even choosing to do unenjoyable things to get attention. Trouble making everyday decisions without input or reassurance from others. Trouble starting or completing projects because of lack of self-confidence and ability to make decisions. Urge to seek a new relationship and to provide support and approval after close relationships ends. How can I manage or treat DPD? A mental health provider can help you manage DPD. You might have psychotherapy, talk therapy, such as cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. This care teaches you new ways to handle difficult situations. Psychotherapy and CPD can take time before you start to feel better. With psychotherapy and CBT, your provider guides you to improve your self-confidence. You'll work to become more active and self-reliant. Your provider will help us also to talk to you about finding more positive relationships. A positive, meaningful relationship can build your self-confidence. It can build it can help all of us. It can help us all. Meaningful relationship can build confidence and help you overcome some of the symptoms of DPD. If your DPD causes depression or anxiety, your provider might prescribe medication. You may take depression medicines such as Prozac, or your provider might recommend such as Xanax. Now you went into some deep stuff there.
Yeah.
Can dependent personality DPD be prevented? You may not be able to prevent DPD, but it can help people at risk developing this disorder finds ways to avoid or difficult situations. Such studies have shown that healthy relationships may help prevent child from developing DPD later in life if a child has even one strong relationship with a friend, a parent, or a teacher. It can counter others' harmful effects. What is the outlook? Someone with APD personality disorder. Someone with DPD can live an emotional, healthy life if they receive treatment from a mental health provider. Learn many new ways to cope with difficult situations can make a difference in their overall look. People who don't get treatment may be at risk from depression and anxiety. Without treatment, a person may misuse substances and develop problems such as drug addiction or alcoholism. Without treatment, people are more likely to stay in unhealthy and abusive relationships. So if someone you know is in a dangerous or abusive relationship, contact the domestic violence. Oh, I'm so sorry. Domestic violence hotline at 1-800-779-7999-SAFE. That's 1-800-1-800-7.
Okay. 799 safe.
Did she freeze?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. Now that lets us know now how we don't have why the relationships is messing up and why we don't know the difference between lack and love, huh? Something wrong with somebody, huh?
Reedy, if you can hear us, come on back in. You might have to go out and come back in. And then if you didn't finish, you'll be able to finish, okay? But you have frozen on the screen. But we certainly enjoyed it. Certainly, certainly, certainly.
Yes,
And if you're
wonderful.
not finished, I hope I'll have enough room for you to finish. But I'm going to go ahead and talk about these apologies. And as you know, my topic is half, and then I have a colon as apologies. Okay, and so what I said in my topic is that people would rather give half an apology, sometimes a fourth of an apology, sometimes an eighth, sometimes 1/16, and sometimes they just do whatever they can to try
Yeah,
to
there
make
you
you think they're apologizing to you,
go.
but they're not really serious about the apology. And I
Exactly.
also said that an apology and asking for forgiveness to me, and I just was enlightened on this as I was studying, I think they're two different things.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like I was saying, you can accept the apology depending on the life situation, what it is, because some people
Mm-hmm.
depend on you, your lifestyle, your beliefs, and everything. And many people mistreat you because they feel like you're obligated to
Right.
accept their apology
Right.
or forgive them. And so then it's the words that people use. Will you forgive me? I didn't mean to do that, but they meant to do it all along. But they
All along.
know from how you feel and how you live and everything that you will feel obligated to accept the apology or forgive them. But it takes time, it takes time, it takes time to forgive.
Amen.
Saying it, and doing it, those are different
It's a
processes.
Yep.
different.
You
Yes.
can say it and you can mean it, but the process takes some time. Sometimes it takes years for that forgiveness to come into fruition, to really be forgiveness. And you can be struggling and trying, but it's the severity of the offense
Yes, it
that
is.
determines
That's right.
Yes,
the
it is.
the forgiveness
Yes,
time
it
and
is.
all of that, because there are some awful, 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 awful things that
Mm-hmm.
happen in this world. People do some terrible things to each other.
Yep.
And then here they come with these half, 1/8, 1/16, 1/4 apologies. Don't really mean it, but in order to satisfy themselves,
Yep.
they will come and ask you to accept their apology or ask you to forgive them. And God has told in the scripture, in the Bible, it says that we are to forgive when people ask us to forgive them. Forgive, and it gives us a certain number. And we don't know, we don't even stick with that number, because if we did, we'd have been through forgiving
Mm-hmm.
folk a long time ago. But
Exactly.
anyway, we forgive, but then we're not so naive to the fact that we forget the offense too, because if you cannot put all that stuff up on a shelf and not bring it down, because your safety depends on so much of it. We've seen people who have offended, who have hurt people, done
Mm-hmm.
all things perpetrated, and then they come back and apologize, and then the people go, they say, okay, I accept your apology. Then they go back to them again, and then next thing you know, the same thing happens again, and then eventually, in many cases, they do not make it through.
That's right.
So it's just a terrible thing. So apologies and forgiveness. Let me see if Rita's coming back in here. My finger's not acting right. I'm trying. See if she really trying to come back, but I can't tell. But anyway, so I did number 5, a forceful apology, and we talked about that. It's when we were young and mom and daddy or whoever, mother, grandma, papa, they say,
Yeah.
all right,
Apologize.
say you sorry. Say you
That's
sorry. I'm
yeah.
sorry. And your mouth all poked out.
Yeah.
Because you're really not sorry, but if you don't want a whipping, you're going to be sorry in word anyway. Maybe not in deed, but in word. So those forceful apologies for some people to try to keep out of trouble. Here's the apology to avoid punishment and ramification. I hope Rita can get back in here. This is a tricky one because sometimes people tend to recognize their wrongdoings just when they realize the magnitude of the consequences after doing what they've done. And then
Right.
later we see this happen a lot with politicians, celebrities, and people who are in the public eye. The problem is with this is that these people don't always think before they act.
Right.
And a person's dark side comes out usually when they act on impulse. And we know that's why we have to be careful. We have to watch ourselves too. We have to watch ourselves because there are things that can trigger certain actions and reactions in us from past experiences. And we know that if we see something or hear something that sounds familiar, then we're on our guard.
Yep.
Because we've had traumatic experiences. We've had people to hurt us, and then we've done some things and hurt people too. So there's something that triggers that. Okay, so we're not to be naive and foolish and just look over everything. A common example of this is when a politician issues a public apology for something they said when they didn't think it would ever come to light. And just like I was saying, that lady said the other day, she said now white babies can be born or something like that, talking about when they reversed the Roe versus Wade. And then she went back and said that it was something about the words got mixed up or something like that. So she came back and she tried to cover her tracks, but it was already out. So we have to hold these individuals accountable for their actions and understand that if there were no ramifications for what they've done, they would just keep doing it anyway, because that is just who they are. And so this is their undeniable nature. And it's just like any of us, our undeniable nature will come out sometime. And people will see, that's why we say, people, all right now, you don't want to see the real me. As you've heard people say that.
Well, so you got to read it, but you don't want that.
And they be serious, right?
I say the same thing. They don't want. Yes, ma'am. They don't want that old you to come back out.
No. They don't. No. And what did Christ say? He would crucify our daily.
We crucify every day. We have to bring our bodies under subjection every day.
That's right, every single day. And let's just pray and hope that they don't come in between that time we're making that transition. Because if they come in the crack, and no telling what might happen. And see, people don't understand that. People don't understand that. They hold us. Okay, they'll be talking, you talking about the people. They're hypocrites. All of them just hypocrites and all that. But when they come to offending you, they're depending on you to be the Christian that they're saying you're not.
And that's what they're depending on.
But they forget that you're still human.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're human, but then you've been crucified with Christ, and so you've been living that life. And so they're depending on you to keep living that life while they're doing their little dirty work.
Some people think they can say anything that they want.
And they think you're weak. And we're not weak.
Where is Reedy?
She said, I was trying to get to you. She said she lost internet connection because it's cloudy there, but she's listening.
Oh, okay. Well, come back in when you can, Reedy. We love you, Tuga. Okay. So actions speak louder than words. When someone apologizes, you can sense the sincerity coming from them, not just through the words, but they choose, but through the body gesture, the facial expression, the tone of voice, the hand movements, and the list goes on and on. And we know when somebody's not really sincerely apologetic. They're just going through the motions because of ramifications. And they'll come on and they've been doing stuff for years and years and years. And then they get caught, and here comes the apology. But if they had never gotten caught, they would never have apologized. I remember when I was working at Johnson & Johnson.
Waiting on you, Shirley. She's waiting on you.
Oh, okay. At Johnson & Johnson, one of the supervisors, she was calling us all in for something. and she said something, and I called her on it, and she apologized, and I told her, if you had not gotten called, you never would
You
have
never would
apologized.
apologize.
You
I
never
told
would
her
have
to
found
her face.
exactly.
And then she had the audacity to say to us, because she was a supervisor, I'm mobile. Like she's telling us, I'm not stuck here on this job. I can move whenever I get ready. You know, that's the mentality of some people.
Mm-hmm.
They think that they are so superior and
Mm-hmm.
they have the upper edge on everybody that they can say and do any and everything, like you were saying that, and get away with it.
Yep.
Okay, Reedy, I'm trying, but these fingers are not a working. So these apologies and things, a fourth of apology, a half apology, a no apology. I'm going to get to that too. I'm going to try go here and try my best to bring Reedy in
But you
on
know, some of them apologize
the
to you and
computer.
still tell you what you did, what they think
But
you
they
did.
blame it on you. They try
Yeah.
to keep it off of
Yeah.
themselves.
But
They
you
don't
know,
want to
you
take the
Exactly.
still, you
responsibility.
hold the grudge. Well,
Don't
you
want to.
still
That's
this
that's
way,
just,
and
and
you
that's the
still that.
game people
Mm-hmm.
play. People play
Hmm.
games with people's lives,
Yeah,
and
they
they
do.
take people for granted.
Yep.
Exactly.
They take people for granted, and they don't understand that they're putting themselves in a predicament too.
With themselves.
Because
Yeah.
so don't catch people when they're doing that transition from.
Did that little crack in there.
I'm telling you. See,
That
people
little
take
crack.
people for granted, and they understand what she saved, he saved, and then they just say, just try to. You've seen people just run over
Try to
people,
do. They try to
just
run over you.
And then
just
they want to do
run
it in public
over people,
because they don't want to do. They don't think you're gonna
just
say what you want to say in public. What you
right.
say? This ain't the right
Exactly.
place to talk about this.
And
Well,
it's the
yes, it
grace
is,
of
because we're
God. It's
right
the
here,
grace
right
of
now.
God. It's the grace of God that keeps us from doing and saying so many things.
Yep.
So
Yep.
many
Exactly.
things, and people totally depend on that. Clea, I'm trying to
She
get
said,
to
"Just
you.
go on." She's listening.
I'm trying to get to you. Okay. So anyway, I'm going back to this. So they say whatever they have to say in order to get over for the moment. So I'm going down here and talk about these no apologies. There
Mm.
are different types of other apologies. And you know, I talked about how people come into our lives for a certain time and certain reasons, and then they're like you. I think you even said that a while ago, and then they're
Mm.
gone. Somebody said
Mm.
that a
Uh,
while ago. Then
uh,
they're gone, and so
Tell us.
you know, okay. And so many times there's a non-apology apology. And here's the thing. I'm sorry you feel that way. Redirects here for the
Yes.
stand-up comedy. Bill Burr. This is what he said. I think I said this the other day. What is a non-apology? A non-apology, sometimes called a backhanded apology. A non-apology, a faux apology is a statement in the form of an apology that does not express remorse or assigns fault to those ostensibly receiving the apology. Is common in politics and public relations.
Yep.
And I remember there's some, you've heard people say this, and they know they've offended. If I've offended anybody,
Ah,
Oh
I
yeah. They.
apologize. If
Mm-hmm.
I've
if I
offended
offended
anybody,
you.
that
If they
is
that
half
word if
if.
if
Yes, if not owning up to it.
I don't
Not
mean that to.
owning up to it. So statements that use the word sorry but do not express responsibility for wrongdoing may be meaningful expressions of regret, but such statements can also be used to elicit forgiveness without acknowledging fault. And we have seen, you know, what we've seen when cases have been settled, and we know these people have been done wrong. Lawsuits, firms, and different companies that have offended people, different people who have done terrible things to people, and then
Yep.
they come out and they apologize, and then they say they've settled, but they settled and they didn't claim any fault. And then they give these non-disclosures and all of that to the victims so that the victims can't say anything else about it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so a non-apology apologizes may be trying to avoid litigation that might result with an admission of guilt or responsibility. And many states like Massachusetts and California have laws to prevent a plaintiff from using an apology as evidence of liability. So they make all kinds of laws.
Oh,
I'm not going to do that.
yes.
Okay, mistakes are made. The expression mistakes are made is commonly used as a rhetorical device whereby a speaker acknowledges a situation was handled poorly or inappropriately, but seeks to evade any direct admission or
Yep.
accusation of responsibility by using the passive voice.
Mm-hmm.
Mistakes are made. We've heard it over
Yeah, we
and
heard it
Were
over and over.
over
made.
Mistakes are
again.
made.
Mistakes
Yes.
were
And like,
made.
all these people who they were running for Supreme Court, they put them on there, people in blackface, was it blackface and
Yeah.
all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. And then they come out with these half apologies and
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
everything. I made a mistake. We've all made mistakes, and there are things that can come back and grab us.
Yep.
But
Grab
by
me, right?
the grace of God, He has thrown all that stuff out. As
Woo,
long as
thank
we
you, Lord.
stay on the straight and narrow, all
That's
that
straight
stuff
in
is
there.
behind His back, is in the sea of forgetfulness. And when God says, He's not going to remember it anymore, even though
Then you
Satan tries to bring all that back to remembrance.
yeah, you do.
And he does sometimes. But we have to resist him so he will
Yep.
flee. But then be on our guard and know that we are, like you say, we are human.
We're
I'm
human.
only human, right?
That's
And
Yep.
so
that's so
things can happen. That's why the Bible tells us to
Flesh and blood
watch
and man.
and play.
as well as pray. And it all works
Woo!
together
It
because
works
things
together.
can keep us. I still think sometimes about when I was doing that revival, crying in the wilderness, out at the property out on Cedardale. And I had Bishop Clyde Hurston. He came and his church, they came and he spoke that night and everything. And so these people across the road from me, there's one house across the road, one house next door to me. So they had these big Rottweilers. And so they would come over on our side. So that particular night, because I set up down close to the road. And so that particular night, I think my dog was down there. And then here comes this big dog across the street. And I don't know what I said, but I didn't come. I don't guess.
Oh Lord.
Because whatever I said, and I'm going to have to ask him. Bishop Clyde Harrison is now, he's the mayor of, what is it, Lancaster, I believe, Lancaster,
Okay.
Texas. And, we've known each other for years. When I first came down here, he invited me to do a revival at their church in Lancaster.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's Bishop Harrison. But anyway, whatever I said, Bishop Harrison said, I don't know what I said. But one day I'm gonna go over there whenever we see each other again, and I think of it, I'm gonna ask him because I really don't believe I don't believe I cussed, but he said, be like Elder David said, you good at both of them, huh? Preaching and cussing. So anyway,
Never heard you say a cuss word.
it's 2:00.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, we
You
got
know they
2
always
minutes.
ask you.
Mama
Okay.
say we got 2. Oh, it says 2
Okay,
minutes.
there's the if apology. Attorney and business ethics expert Lauren Bloom, author of The Art of Apology, mentions the if apology as a favorite of politicians, with lines such as, I apologize if I offended anyone. And there's this comedian, Harry Shearer. He's coined the term if apology for it has frequent appearances on the Apologies of the Week segment of the Late Show. It's LE show. I've never seen that show. Okay. So now we go down to talking about the non-apology, and there are other versions of apologies. And I mean, there's just so many sarcastic examples of people as they tactics, different ways that they call themselves not really sorry, but just to get by saying things. There's a tactical apology. Typologies of apology note the cover of a range of situations and degrees of regret, remorse, and contrition, and that success is to be gauged by the result of the apology rather than the degree of contrition involved. Now, there's a tactical apology. When a person accused of, everybody, would you bear with us, please, for at least maybe 10 more minutes? How about, is that okay, ladies?
Yes.
Fine with me.
Okay. There's a tactical apology. When a person accused of wrongdoing offers an apology that is rhetorical and strategic and not necessarily heartfelt. There's the explanation apology. When a person accused of wrongdoings offers an apology that is merely a gesture that is meant to counter an accusation of wrongdoing. In fact, it may be used to defend the actions of the accused. There's a formalistic apology. When a person accused of wrongdoing offers an apology after being admonished to do so by an authority figure, okay, who may also be the individual who suffered the wrongdoing. There's a happy ending apology. Happy ending apology, when a person accused of wrongdoing fully acknowledges responsibility for the wrongdoing and is genuinely remorseful. That's the one we've been wanting to get to. So while the non-apology apology is clearly unsuited to situations where an expression of remorse, contrition, and future change are obviously desirable, for example, happy ending apology, it may prove extremely useful in situations where little can be done to assuage the apparent offense of or prevent its repetition, as when an airline apologizes for a delay, and you know they can never tell when they're going to have a delay. So in the full knowledge that a future repetition is inevitable, and such tactical apologies may have beneficial effects simply through the validation of the emotions of the offended party. They answer the basic human need for disagreeable emotions to be recognized and acknowledged as important while protecting the apparently offending party from an expression of remorse. And we know they apologize. We apologize for the delays. And that's what we want to hear. Let us know, we apologize for the delays, even though they have no control over when the next delay will come along. But at least they have the human skills and the business knowledge to apologize. Even though they know that this is a situation that many times they cannot control. So those are the different apologies. How about that? I am finished. And so people, me, myself and I and everybody else, when you apologize, be sincere about it and ask for forgiveness. Ask for forgiveness. Some people don't care one way or the other whether you forgive them or not. And so I heard on one of those shows, I've been watching this, what American Gangsters is called, something, Trap Queens. And it's about all these people who are, it's on BET, BET Plus. And I did the free trial. Okay, anyway. All right. So it's all of these women, gangsters, and one woman said that the apology is only for the offender.
Wow.
It just makes people feel good to say, I apologize and ask, will you forgive me, when many people really don't mean it. But let me tell people something. God ain't playing with nobody. He ain't no toy. And I believe with all my heart that God is real. And I believe that everything that we read in the Bible and we hear preached in the unadulterated word, that this stuff is going to come back and haunt a whole lot of people. So just get down. If you have to get on your knees.
That's right.
And apologize. Ask for forgiveness. Do it and keep yourself in the clear. because there's some horrific things and people can't just forgive people overnight.
Yep.
And some of them cannot ever forgive people because some of these things are horrifying that people do to other people. People treat other human beings worse than they would treat the worst kind of snake.
Yes.
So anyway, that's it. Thank you so much, everybody, for being with us. We love you. Any last words, Merethah?
No. Just people like you said about the apology. Those people get in, like the people who murder people, and they get up in court when they're saying they're before the judge is sentencing them. I apologize. I know what I did was wrong. Most of them are trying to do is get a lighter sentence.
That's
they
all
don't mean it to the family. Some of them don't mean it. But then you look at some of those, because you can watch those things on, on the court TV thing.
Yeah, right.
Some of those people mean it. So that one dude said, what I did was unforgivable. And I can't ask the family forgive them because I know what I did was wrong. And Your Honor, whatever you sentenced me to, I deserve.
Right.
But you know when a person is truly, truly sorry. God gives us discernment. He gives us discernment.
And another thing is too, that sometimes we can have something going on in our minds and we're so hurt.
Yes.
And been so desperately hurt till there's a blockage in there. So if they are sincere at that time, we cannot receive it. So there is a blockage there. So they really sometimes they could be sincere.
Yeah.
But there's something blocking you mentally from perceiving and seeing that they are sincere. That's why we have to work on ourselves in order to get to where we need to be. And then that release is that degree of forgiveness.
Yeah.
And because you don't fully forget, but if you can have that peace of mind and say, God, help me. I've let it go. Thank you, God, for helping me. I have let that go to a degree where I can breathe now. And I have peace of mind. Because it's not as easy as people say.
No, it's not.
People can harp on you and tell you got to forgive. You got to forgive. You got to forgive.
Let it go.
Yes.
Let it go.
We have got to forgive. We have got to forgive. But God is in God's time.
Right.
God has to continue to give us that grace to be able to forgive to the degree that we need to forgive in order to function and be pleasing to Him. Okay, Eula, you have any last words? Thank you, Merethah.
That was good stuff. That was really good. Just the if part. When we talk about the if, I know a lot of times we have people, even in church, they say, they stand up and they say, if I've done anything to anybody in the church, I want you to forgive me. We need to stop saying that if. We know if we done something to somebody. Don't get up saying if I've done anything to anybody. Just get up and say, I want the church to forgive me. I want to apologize for the things that I did, said, whatever it was, whatever. Sometimes you might not remember all what you did, or if somebody is hurt and they come to you and say something, you're like, what did I say? Because sometimes you can say stuff and you don't know you hurt nobody's feelings, or you don't know you messing with them. But we need to leave that if off. We need to leave that if off and just stand up. Anybody, not only in the church, but anybody. Don't say if I've done and you know you did.
Okay, that's our 10 minutes. We love you, everybody. Enjoy your day. God willing, we'll see you Thursday.
Thanks, everybody, for watching.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Now I hope I can get off here.
Last time she couldn't leave. I'm gonna see if I can leave.
I'm trying to end